Forgotten Man. Chicago, Illinois. Here's a vacation special. The Flying Mercury of the New York Central running from Cleveland to Detroit. Inside the new train is a hotel on rails with a unique diner. The lounge car has a service bar where cocktails can be shaken by hand instead of by the train. An iron horse that may be a real favorite in the railroad sweepstakes.
Silhouetted against the New York skyline at Rockefeller Center, the Radio City Music Hall Ballet does...
Olympic form, the last word in human speed and stamina, marked the national AAU meet at Princeton, New Jersey, giving America a preview of its Olympic track and field stars in action. The 100-meter dash. And they're off with Jesse Owens, the brown flash of Ohio State, charging right to the front to run away with the race and tie the record. Again, in the broad jump, it's Jesse Owens, leaping 26 feet, 3 inches to equal another record. In the pole vault, these slow motion pictures show the form, the poetry of motion that enabled the entries to try for a new world's record. And here is Baroff, pole vaulting to a new world's record, 14 feet 6.5 inches. Again, slow motion in the high jump reveals the form of Cornelius Johnson, the winner. In the high hurdles, this slow motion start gives you a chance to study the championship form of a fast field, with Towns of Georgia farthest from the camera, stepping out to tie the world's record. And there he goes. And now, they're off in the 1,500-meter run, with Fedorov setting the pace for the 11-man field. Around the first turn, Cunningham and Bonstrom bring up the rear. But in the home stretch, the flying feet of the favorites start a man-killing sprint. There's Cunningham bounding ahead. The dark-shirted Kansan lunging into the lead with resistless power. Look at San Romani on the outside, making a desperate effort to overhaul him. But Cunningham stands him off. The speed of a champion.
Any good one? You remember, you have a very short introduction to your first girl, and I have her enter the set at the end of your first sentence. You understand that?
Yes, she's coming right on as soon as we begin.
That's right.
You got that signal?
I'm almost afraid to tell you gentlemen that we've planned a fashion show for you. I can imagine what you say when your wives try to drag you to a fashion show. But this is different. You don't have to budge. Of course, if you get bored looking at the beautiful girls, you can turn your chair around, but you don't have to, since there's no one here but just us boys. Let's see now what our first model is wearing. You might think that this is a beach costume, but it isn't. This is the newest for dinner wear. Yes, the girls are wearing trousers from morning till night this summer. She's wearing white gabardine dinner slacks with that sparkling sequin jacket. But there was a little shortage of material when they made up this outfit. We'll have to apologize for a bare space between the trousers and the top. I don't know, maybe we don't need to apologize. Norvell, won't you take off your jacket and let these men decide whether or not they approve of dinner slacks? And whether we need to apologize? My, quite a shortage there in the back, I didn't realize. Incidentally, these fashions are all from Bonwit Teller. The girls are from Bonwit Teller, too. But then, of course, you wouldn't be interested in that. Of course not. Now, we chose this next model just so you wouldn't think that trousers have completely replaced the skirt. The old-fashioned skirt is still seen now and again. And here's something that you men ought to note with joy. Look how much shorter ermine capes are getting. It used to be that when a man got his wife an ermine coat, he had to get it clear down to the floor. But you want to remind her the next time she mentions ermine that elbow length is very, very smart. Now, Asta, do you suppose you could slip off that cape? Just toss it on the floor. A little ermine is nothing to us, a few $1,000s worth. And then if you'll turn around so that the gentleman can see the bustled back on your taffeta evening gown. This is a sort of combination bustled back and hoop skirt. You know, that skirt is really and truly wired underneath to make it stick out a little more. You men had better practice up on your dancing. You know, it's no cinch to dance a rumba with a girl in a hoop skirt. A fellow has to have pretty good control of his feet. Do any of you want to step forward and try it? I'm afraid not, Asta. I'm afraid they're all too modest. But maybe you'll hear from some of them later. Now, in this next dress, the important thing that you want to notice is the line. Alice May, will you turn all around so that the men can get the full effect of the very smart line of this dress? This is a midsummer fashion for lunch, tea, or cocktails. And Alice May says preferably cocktails. I know that you want to be up on the very latest French words, so this is sea lion ciré, C-I-R-E. It means satin with a coating of wax. And the hat is of the same material. Now, a woman would call this outfit very slinky. But I asked Mr. O.B. Hanson what he would call it, and he said, well, she's certainly okay. The only thing that Alice May needs is a nice big corsage of gardenias. Isn't there someone in the audience who would step forward and give this little girl a corsage of gardenias? Oh, I'm afraid you're not quite quick enough. You see, she's going away. She's not going to wait any longer. And the next model has plenty of flowers. You can't give her any more because her negligee is all covered with white carnations and white orchids. Now, this brings up a very interesting point. A gown of this kind is called a negligee if you wear it in the bedroom. But you want to be very careful. It's sometimes a hostess gown. And if you go for dinner this summer and your hostess is wearing an outfit like this, you want to be sure not to say what a lovely negligee you have on. It all depends on where it's being worn. This, I remembered something. Now, over in Paris, when they announce fashion shows, they always give numbers. They say this is model 70 or something like that. I think we'd better be a little more practical today. This number is Butterfield 80662. Thank you very much, Yvonne. Don't you like that widow's peak that Yvonne has? That's something you can't acquire just all of a sudden. Well, here comes Norvell again. Looks to me as if she's taken off those dinner slacks. Surely enough, she's wearing a real beach outfit now. This is that's the good girl, so we can see it, a black satin lastex swimsuit. Now, all the fashion experts say that this looks exactly like a wet seal. I don't know about that. Do you think so? She doesn't look much like a wet seal to me. The most important thing about a suit like this is the figure of the girl who wears it. And the general idea, you see, is to have it look as if it's a coat of black enamel. But you want to be very careful. Don't give a satin lastex swimsuit to a girl whose figure wouldn't do right by it. And now, Norvelli is blowing you a goodbye kiss before she goes back to Bonwit Teller. and we're going to fade out our fashion show. But don't you worry. You'll see a lot more satin bathing suits if you spend your vacation at a beach, and Norvell says she'll be looking for you.